Mike McCool. I'm on Main Street, downtown Front Royal, in Main Street Travel, and I'm with Ginny Leser. I always call her Lesser, and she's never corrected me for how many years? A lot.
I gave up.
Well, anyway, I'm walking down Main Street, and I'm thinking how cold it is, and I seen your door, and I says, I'm going to go in and talk to Ginny because I need to go someplace warm.
Yes, you do.
So, what do we have on the schedule? You told me you were going somewhere in a couple of weeks.
I'm taking a group, and we're going out to the West Coast, and we are cruising the Mexican Riviera for 7 days, and cannot wait.
That sounds warm.
I know, it's going to be wonderful.
And what the Mexican Riviera is going down like Baja California and going down like that?
Right, we'll be in Cabo and Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. And we'll have a couple of wonderful sea days so we can just stretch out and bake in the sun, which sounds lovely now.
You're taking your husband Jeff with you?
He gets to go.
Oh, this time. Yeah. Way to go, Jeff. All right. Well, I heard him over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he wasn't letting it.
We can't wait. We're down to 36 or 35 days.
Oh, he's counting. He knows. He knows.
Hey, we got the counters.
So we got room to anybody else could go. Maybe
it's a brand new ship. It's a brand new ship, and the Panorama is just getting docked in Long Beach, and then we are doing our first ever mega ship because usually we like the smaller ships.
Sure.
But this time we decided to fly out to the West Coast, and the group is really excited. And we'll be on the brand new ship.
So we have a lot of people from Front Royal in the local area going with you?
We have a group from Front Royal, but there's also a group down in Richmond that had a friend in Front Royal, and so we picked
kind
up.
Of merged together. So
Yes.
it sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
So where else could we go? Like in January, February, March, where it's cooler. I mean, we don't want to go where it's cooler. We want to go someplace where it's warmer, but it's cooler in those months. So let's go someplace warm. Where could we go?
Well, I'm booking a lot of people into Costa Rica. Costa Rica is just such a fascinating country on its own, but the beaches are great, and you can go in and into the jungles, and you can be on the swinging bridges or go volcano watching. There's a lot to do if you're.
There's a lot of Americans in Costa Rica. And the language isn't a problem in most of those Central American countries.
No, and most of the, if you stay on the resorts or do excursions that are offered, sponsored by the resorts and everything, you're totally safe, and you don't have to worry about being harmed while you're down there.
Sure. Or not understanding the language. I remember we went to Belize.
Getting lost.
I liked about Belize because they use the dollar, and they also the English is the national language. So it wasn't a problem. You were just home, but it was warm. So.
Yes, I know. We talk about that. Here we complained all summer that it was too hot, and now we're complaining it's too cold.
Oh, that's what we do. So in the summertime, you send people to places where it's cool, and vice versa. It's great. Of course, you go to places like Hawaii and just go year round.
I know. What I'd like to do, and probably it won't happen this year, but what I'd like to do is to go to someplace like Finland or Norway and sleep in one of those glass huts out in the middle of the snow and just watch the northern lights. So we're going to try to set that up for next year, and I probably won't last more than a night or two in the glass huts, but I just want to see it. I want to see the northern lights. I want to be out there, watch the snow falling.
Well, I've seen it. I was 60 miles north of the Arctic Circle for a year in the military, so we were up in Greenland.
Right.
And you see the northern lights, and of course in the summer it stays, maybe it gets dark for about 30 minutes, and it's never dark, it's just dusk.
Right.
So we can play, we were playing softball at 11 o'clock at night without lights. So
that just seems
it is strange.
Unreal, yeah.
Yeah, and just the opposite. I got there like in November, and I went to we go to bed, get up, and then I look outside, it's pitch black, so I'm calling the operator. I said, is it noon or midnight? Which is it?
Well, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. It was hard to tell your first day, but it is very interesting to go to those northern countries like that because it is pretty cool.
In February in Iceland, they only have about 6 hours of daylight, so that really can throw you off.
It
But
does.
it also happens to be one of the times when it's easiest to see the northern lights.
It is something to see. It is really something to see. I've always wanted to go to Vermont at Christmas.
Me too.
I want to go in the sleigh rides and the traditional
Right.
White Christmas. You see the end at White
know.
Christmas.
Hallmark movie.
Yeah, my wife doesn't want to do that. But I always thought, well, we'll just get in the car and drive until I hit snow and I can't go any farther. But I think I'd rather
Then you
go
call
warm.
your travel agent
That's
and
right.
say, help.
Well, that's what a travel agent does.
That's what we do. We do. We rescue people that decide to go on, do their own thing, and then they
Right.
can't find a hotel, or the hotel's burned down, or something.
Well, we
I mean,
forgot to call and tell you, right?
Yeah.
But so there's all sorts of things year round that you can
Right.
travel and from name it.
Yeah, well, you can do bicycling in France or Italy. There's villas that you can rent and then go out and do day trips.
Well, even travel right here in the United States
Oh,
if you're not adventurous,
Right, right.
too adventurous. There's
Right.
tons of things that you can set up and do right here in the country,
The
right?
national parks are amazing, and there's all kinds of things that you can do either in groups on motor coaches, or you can rent a car and just take off on your own. And it's a big, wide country out there, and there's so many places that we see featured in movies or on
Sure.
TV, and we just take it for granted. And we were out in San Diego and then went down into Los Angeles, and we were
Sure.
tooling around, and I was, starstruck the whole time because I was saying, I know where we are. I've seen it.
I've seen this on television. Yeah, it looks very familiar, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yes, it does.
yes.
But people think, well, I can never afford it or I can't go. It's really not that expensive to travel nowadays. We put it
No.
off our whole life, and we get ready. As we get a little older, and we want to maybe reach
So-
out and try to do something special for maybe an anniversary or a special birthday for your wife or your
Right,
husband.
right.
Surprise them with travel.
Exactly.
And you first start with something close by.
And that's so easy to do. And here's the thing is that all you need to do is put down a deposit, then you can just make payments until about 30 days before
Right.
you go.
Right.
So if you know that next September you want to take somebody away and maybe go up to Maine to see the fall leaves, or or go to
Or
Seattle,
that week
or
cruise to the Caribbean or somewhere.
go to Alaska. That's
Yeah.
a big one
It
for
is.
most people. And even people who've never flown before or never cruised, they're willing to, to conquer all their fears just to be able to see Alaska.
Right.
And Alaska's a short season. It's mid-May to mid-September.
Right.
So you have to get
And
booked
wear
early.
your coat.
Oh,
because-
I don't. Wear
we
a coat.
we went in June,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I took my coat with me.
I know, but you wouldn't think so
No.
because, you think
Well,
it'd
then the
be...
next day I'm wearing a T-shirt, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like here, it's exactly the same thing.
Weather in Virginia, yes.
Yeah, it is. Well, it sounds interesting. Come down to see Ginny if you have any desire at all, or even if you don't have a desire, come on down and see her. She offer you a cup of coffee, some hot
Oh,
chocolate,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
she, except for when you go to the Mexican Riviera, you won't be here, but you have
Oh,
some very
well,
good staff.
Jeannie will be.
Here to help take care of that. So thank you for talking to us,
Thanks,
Ginny. I
Mike.
appreciate it, and everything you do to help the community
Oh,
and
absolutely.
travel around. It's great, and good to see you. When you get back, you're going to tell us all about your adventures.
I will. I
Take
will.
some pictures.
Take pictures, and we're going to go out a couple of days early so that we can do a little sightseeing in and around Long Beach. And
If
Los
you
Angeles.
really want to go to someplace cool, I'm sure you've never been there. Been in San Diego before? Mm-hmm. You want to go? Have you ever been to the Grand Horton Hotel?
No.
It was built like in around 1908 or 10 or somewhere but the old section of the hotel has fireplaces and 4-poster beds.
Oh.
It's very, very charming, and the prices are very affordable. And it's just a block off the downtown. It's in the older section of downtown. They've added a new modern section, so if you're not into that type of thing. But the Grand Horton Hotel, I tell people it's the best kept secret in San Diego. So put that on your list.
We'll have to
It is
check
really
it
cool.
out.
There's a lot of things like that around.
I know.
That now there's these new. We're tearing them down, our old hotels. But in parts of the country, they're making them into boutique hotels. These 1950 roadside hotels,
Which
They're coming back.
It's so nice because they're not cookie cutter.
No.
You know,
There's
they've got-
charm.
yes,
There's charm.
and
I like
character,
charm and
yes.
character, right. That's a kind of a buzzword for it's old and run down.
Not always.
Kind of like our houses, you know.
Yeah,
They've
I
got
know.
character and charm.
Yes,
Anyway,
we're very charmed.
Well, you keep us posted on what's going on in your travels and let us know. And
Sure.
if anyone has a trip they want to plan, come see Ginny.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ginny.